Ralph Man's Outdoors. I did a short 4 or 5, maybe a week ago by the time I get this edited, but we did a short talking about fermenting feed, filling it up in a bucket. We cover it with water. We also then let it soak for 3 days. It'll swell up. You can even add more water to it after the fact. About a day and a half in, add more water, it will swell up even more. And I had several people comment on that short and ask, what does it look like? Well, on the short, I didn't have time to video the final product, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a full length, let you see exactly what we do, and then we will show you the finished product and how the chickens love it. So here we go. Susan has made homemade chicken feed, and we've got it in these crates, and we've got all different types of whole grains. We've got corn, we've got soybeans that are organic. She has mixed all of this up, and we are fermenting feed. All we do is we take a bucket. This is like a 2.5 gallon bucket. This already had some fermented feed that we've fed to the chickens, but we're going to take and do about 3 scoops, and do it however you want, but we use this scooper. You can see in here there's some soybean right there in the palm of my hand. You've got spelt and some other whole grains that Susan put in. Then we're just going to take this in. We're going to add water. We're going to cover the top of it and let it sit, and then we'll come back and we'll stir it. Then we'll come back in a day or so, stir it again, and it will cause it to swell up. Therefore, you're saving on your feed. It fills up the chickens more. They don't eat as much, so it saves you money, and it's also good and healthy for them. So we've got our feed. We're just going to close this back up, seal it so no mice get in it. This is out in our garage. All right, we're going to add our whey. And all right, we brought our bucket in here to the sink. This is another bucket that has fermented food in it, but I've got some whey. This is actually a byproduct of Susan making yogurt out of raw milk, and so I'm going to add that. That will help the fermenting, and then I'll add a little bit of water. We're going to add some hot water. We're going to get this up to the level of the feed itself, or a little bit above it, and then I'm going to stir it up. All right, it's just a little bit above level, and we've got some extra paint stirrers, so this is what I'm going to do. Last time I just stuck my hand down in there, but I want to get that mixed up good, make sure that everything's getting good and moist. Then we'll seal it up. It is completely covered, got a little bit floating there, and so what we're going to do is we're going to close it. We're not necessarily going to seal it. I'm just going to set the lid on top, because that way we can have some as it's fermenting, the air can get out of it. And I'll show you what this one looks like. This is the other one that's been sitting for about a day. The corn and everything is swelling, and Susan only used 2 cups of feed in this one, where I used 3 today, but that is looking good. It's swelling up nice, and this will be ready to give to the chickens tomorrow. Ralph Man's Outdoors. Susan had less feed in that bucket. I did a little overboard, but that's okay. It'll just feed for an extra couple of days. Usually out of the bucket Susan did, we can get 2 days worth of feeding out of it. Mine will probably get us about 3 days worth of feeding out of it, but I'll come back in a couple of days, let you see what this looks like before we take it out and feed the chickens. If you have questions, I'm happy to try and answer them. We're learning as we go. We've been raising chickens, I guess now for 7.5 years, been doing meat birds for about 5 years now. We just love to get our fresh eggs, and we love to eat what we know we grew. We don't worry about what they sell you at the grocery store. It has almost doubled in size in a day. We're going to mix it up. We added more liquid to it and let it go. This is after day 2, and you can see the bubbles. That's where it's fermenting. There's day 3. That's done. Headed for the chickens. In just a couple of days, that really grew. We've got a lot of feed right there. This will last for about 3 or 4 days. We're going to go down and give some of it to the chickens now. The chickens love this stuff, and let's just give them some. This fermented feed is good for them, and it'll help keep them warm during the winter. It also cuts down on your feed cost. Ralph Man's Outdoors. What you saw me feed, about 5 of those small, maybe 8-ounce cups, that will feed this flock for the day. They still have some other scratch, and they also have grit and oyster shells to pick about, but that'll keep them going, and they love it. Till next time, God bless.